What's going on, guys? Today we're jumping right into it. As you can see, the hood's off of the car. It's right over there, actually. I already started off by taking the hood off and getting these arrow catches off. So pretty much what I plan to do today is get this engine bay ready to paint. We're not going to paint it anytime soon, or at least not for a while, because to be 100% honest with you guys, I gotta save up some money. I'm gonna get this thing professionally painted, interior, engine bay, trunk area, all one color. Actually, I'll tell you guys the color now. We're painting this color. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, I don't change my mind again. But I think I've settled on the color of Toyota 1G3 Gray. And if you guys have been keeping up with me even before I had this channel, or even when I first started this channel, you guys should know that Toyota 1G3 Gray is actually the color of my old RX-7. I'll put a picture up right over here. Pretty much, I decided on the color for two reasons specifically. One, it's a darker color, so it'll keep the inside looking clean. Because, you know, with driving it not every day, but driving it, dirt dropping, whatever, a lighter color will show that dirt more. The gray will kind of blend everything in and make it a lot easier to keep clean. Second reason, kind of a tribute to our old color. If you guys don't know, back then, or maybe a year and a half ago, that was supposed to be our team color, that Toyota 1G3 Gray. Brand's car was that color. I painted my car that color. Alez actually ended up getting a car in pretty much that color. So the gray is kind of a tribute to the OG color, I guess you could call it. But also, it's going to make the car look really good and give it a nice contrast with the white exterior of the car. So right now we're just going to go ahead and take a small step towards that and getting everything out. Brake booster, brake lines, fuel lines, the reservoir right over there. Pretty much everything out of the bay to get it ready to essentially paint it. So let's get to it. Alright, so as you can see, we got most of the stuff out of there. There wasn't much in there to begin with, but we got most of it out. We did leave the fuel lines right there and the steering shaft only because I still need to steer the car when I'm moving it around the driveway. And the fuel lines, we're going to end up moving it from that side over to this side just because that's where the exhaust is. And this is where the fuel rail is going to be. So it makes more sense, take it away from the exhaust side so it doesn't get hot and make it easier to get into the fuel rail itself. So right now we're just spraying it down with some degreaser. It says OxiClean, but trust me, it's degreaser in here. It's pretty much simple green. Letting it soak in for a bit. As you can see, there's a lot of oil there, I guess I should say. The brake fluid, there you go. That's just been dripping over time from that master cylinder. So we're just letting the degreaser kind of do its thing, soak itself in, and we're going to hose her off. So let's keep on spraying. As expected, with hosing it down, water splashed everywhere, and you can see the tube work that we got done is starting to flash rust. Like, this did not look like this before we started spraying, and by the water just getting it wet. Yeah, like I said, it started to flash rust. As you can see, I can rub all of it away, and all of it's coming off on my hands. But like I said earlier, we are not going to get this thing painted anytime soon just because of money. Money's a little tight right now, so we don't have the funds to get it painted properly with the gray that we are going to paint it. So what we're going to do in the meantime, just so the rust doesn't get any worse, we're going to go ahead and go over to Lowe's first. Hopefully they have it. If they don't have it, we'll go to Home Depot, and then if not, we'll check someplace else. But we're going to go pick up some Scotch-Brite pads. That way we can scuff up all that surface rust, that's starting to form just by it sitting in the raw metal outside. And yeah, like I said, scuff it up, and hit it with some etching primer because it is bare metal and we want, I don't know how it works, but as far as what I heard, etching primer is what you want to use when you're starting off painting stuff on bare metal pretty much. So we're going to go ahead and pick up some etching primer, Scotch-Brite pads, probably some electrical tape, not electrical tape, probably some masking tape and some cardboard paper type thing so we can block off all the windows, and lay some primer on this cage because we don't want this thing rusting any more than it already has. And it's only been I picked it up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Sunday now. It's only been 3 days since we brought it home, and it's been sitting outside. So yeah, it's gonna take way more than 3 days for us to get this thing painted. So let's go ahead and just hit it with some primer, prevent it from rusting anymore. That way we don't have to worry. Yeah, so let's go to Lowe's. You can see here, this is exactly what we're looking for, the self-etching primer. So we're probably gonna use 2 for the cage, but I'm gonna pick up 3 just to be safe. Because, you know, you can never use enough primer anyway, so 3 primers, 3 self-etching primers I should say. And we'll go ahead and get these, the masking tape and the masking paper. To the bag, the etching primer, some Scotch-Brite pads, some masking paper, and some masking tape. Luckily we had everything at the first stop, so let's go ahead and head on home and get to painting. So now we got to start the not so fun part and get the whole tubing and cage and whatnot scuffed up and ready to paint. So let's get started. Alright, well I actually ended up using the 3 cans, so thankfully I bought the 3, because if not we would have had to go back to the store, come back, do it again. But as you can see here, everything that was welded on and worked on, that covered in primer, this is now all primered up. I will say, definitely understand why people charge so much to paint interiors with cages, because trying to paint behind those bars was a nightmare. But I got every single inch of the cage painted up. I didn't do too great of a job right here because this is going to get covered by the dash and the steering column thing anyways, so I wasn't too worried about it. But every inch that I can get to for the cage is now primered, except for right above there where it's pretty much touching the shell or the chassis, so I couldn't get back there. But as you can see, even back here, the 2 support bars, I guess you can't see too well, but those are all painted up as well, all in the back of it. All the bars back here are painted. So now we're just gonna let that dry, and it's not gonna look good even if we're done, or even once it's fully cured, but we'll get a better look at, actually it's gonna look exactly like this, so it's all painted now. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out here. Made big progress with the cage today. Now the cage will not rust, and we can take all the time we need to get it painted properly by a professional, or at least someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to painting, because I want this thing to look good. I told you guys I want this thing to be like show car worthy. So for that to be done, I need someone who knows what they're doing to do it right. But like I said, we got the cage painted up, the wheel well support tubes painted up. Big step forward, that way we don't have to rush ourselves. That being said, make sure to go ahead and click that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, click the notification button, and share it with your friends. If you guys like the build, like what I'm doing with the car, make sure to share it with your friends, make sure they can watch it too, because we're trying to make the channel grow, and I appreciate you guys. So that being said, see you guys later.